Hello there. I just want to make another quick video. I won't keep you for long. I guess I've made a few this week. I felt called to do so, at least, for sure, with this video. And first off, I want to give a shout out to Basil and Gons from Canary Cry News Talk. I was watching their show about Trump announcing his presidency, which is pretty much what this is about, and I felt inspired to quickly make this video. I guess I'll start with this disclaimer that as teachers, we'll be held to a higher standard, and so I don't want to be up here misleading people or anything. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell people I'm wrong. I'll be the first to try to tell people I'm wrong. I don't want to be up here lying, whatnot. I mean, if you have to lie to win, you've already lost. And so that being said, in some of these slides we'll be reading here, I'll let you pause it and read them at your own speed, because we obviously can't talk about a lot of this stuff on the screw tube. But basically, at one point, I make a declarative statement about something that technically is my own opinion, and that is that I believe Trump is a light side Luciferian. Now, knowing what I know about these high-level Luciferians, they think Jesus and Lucifer are basically buddies or the same guy. So 33rds like my grandpa, these guys drink blood or wine from a human skull, and they swear to make war on the God of the Bible, on Catholic communion, or what Christians would call Jesus' Passover, salvation, or, commonly referred to as Easter, although Easter is a pagan name, a pagan thing. And so when I say I believe Trump is a Luciferian, the Knight of Malta equivalent, I mean, I could be wrong. I say that full out. In any of these situations, I could be wrong. I feel more bad about basically slamming on people. I call him an orange retard here, but the truth of the matter is he's really smart. He obviously isn't stupid, and he's obviously not a pawn, he's a boss. The New Agers think he's the reincarnation of Saint Germain. Saint Germain being the essence of Lucifer throughout history and creativity and whatnot. I'll let you do your own research on that. But even in my video I made about Trump, whether or not he's ever actually admitted to being a Christian or whatnot, I made that video. I'll link it in the description section below. I mean, the proof is in the pudding as far as I'm concerned. But again, like I said, I might be wrong. And so I don't want to be misleading anybody. Test all spirits. Don't believe a word I say. Research everything I say until you're blue in the face, and then make up your own mind. Because, at the end of the day, I don't even agree with everything I say. But again, shout out to Basil and Gons. As I was watching their show today, as a Canadian, I was like, so yeah, Trump was the 45th president, you say? Well, that's interesting, because I went back and watched the old movie Die Hard with a Vengeance. And during the movie, which came out in 1995, by the way, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson talk about how Hillary Clinton was the 45th president. Yeah, that's not weird or anything. And so I guess really the other part of this video was that Trump said if he gets elected, he's going to pass a law or try to pass a law calling for the execution of drug dealers? What, street dealers or big pharma CEOs? Because when you really want to crunch the numbers, and as I get into in my Instagram here, I'll let you pause this, as I said, and read these at your own speed, because if I start talking about this in proper verbiage, I'd get my YouTube page deleted. I'd get it deleted faster than I can write my name, actually. But yeah, so, okay, Trump, I call him an orange retard. God forgive me, I can be a bit harsh with the name calling. But, I mean, he is orange, but he's not retarded. I would say he's probably got an IQ up there with mine, like $150 at least. Now, for him to make this statement tells me two things. One, they want to be able to control the drug market. And two, they want to be able to label anybody they don't like a druggie or a dealer, and then that could be their excuse to execute them. And so, yeah, like Bella Blue says here, who's going to decide between life or death? And I'm like, exactly. It's bad enough that the DEA can confiscate all your stuff before there's even a trial. But, much less being charged, or things like RICO, that broad sweeping power, that's insane. And then Mad Hatter, that's her handle, she chimes in saying, this might be a good idea, blah, 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 scare the dealers. I'm like, Yeah, the dealers work for, like, these intelligence agencies. Like that System of a Down song. Not that I'm promoting, like, satanic music, but the line, like, secret wars around the world, drugs are now your global policy, and they police us all. But I says to her, compared to the American army protecting poppy fields, like, who are the worst drug dealers? Compared to Big Pharma? I mean, I don't know if I spelled opioids right there, but also, at the end of the day, people choose to do drugs. No one forces people to do drugs. So without the demand, there would be no supply. And without prohibition, there would be no avenue for these criminals to monopolize the market. Prohibition created the gangster. Prohibition created the modern drug market. And all that time, Big Pharma is allowed to own private armies and or be defended by UN troops, like Afghanistan poppy fields much. And these drug death statistics, they don't even get counted with the illegal DEA drugs. These statistics vastly outnumber street drugs. And so this guy wants to execute people who are responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands, while the state is responsible for the deaths of millions. Big Pharma is responsible for the deaths of how many? And so I know a lot of people want to defend Trump. I'm not even American, I'm Canadian. We got our own problems up here with Castro's bastard Trudeau. But all I'm saying is Big Pharma CEOs and politicians like George Bush Sr., the Iran-Contra scandal, drugs being brought in by the CIA to pay for secret wars, those guys need to be executed first, and obviously that's not going to happen. If this is just a story, if this is just him talking out his butt, or if this is something they're actually planning, it's not about the big fish. Come on, let's be honest. This is about being able to label whoever they want an enemy of the state. Because any like Pablo Escobar type dealers essentially are under the thumb of organizations like the CIA, Big Pharma, whatever. And such a law would be a slippery slope. It could be used to frame up anybody. And again, people that, maybe they just don't want to admit, blah, blah, blah. But I don't care how much fentanyl and heroin's on the street. It ain't killing nearly as many as Big Pharma. And obviously some of these comments I'm not going to talk about. You can pause it and read it at your own speed. But she then says, did Trump know what was going to happen? Well, yeah, of course he knew. I mean, I might be wrong. He might be a complete pawn in the game, but I don't think so. In my opinion, he's a light-side Luciferian, or maybe not. I don't know. The Pope? Didn't the Pope disband the Knights of Malta when he got elected? Remember, light-side Luciferians, they're not Satanists. All Luciferians, they think they're the good guys. Like Lucifer and Jesus are on the same team, basically. The Satanists were Luciferians that fell to the real dark side. But whether you're a light-side Luciferian or a dark-side Satanist, ignorance is not an excuse for evil. And I said, it'd be cool if Instagram would let you edit spelling mistakes. But yeah, again, like, he claimed to be the father of the what? The what that's a weapon? Of course he knew. In my opinion, he's a boss, not a pawn. But again, I might be wrong. So this went on for a while. And I was like, this is after all these comments as well. I got tired of arguing about it. I mean, if they're going to pass these laws, it's not about actually stopping the drugs. It's about using it as a weapon against the people who would control their monopoly. I think it was Rockefeller or Rothschild or one of them once said, the only sin is competition. Like the whole do what thou wilt Luciferian thing, it's cuckoo bananas. And yeah, I think Trump's a joke. I think they're all a joke. You don't get to that level without being part of the club. It's a big club and we ain't in it. Well, people like me choose to not be in it. I disavow my family bloodline. And again, people want to defend blah, blah, blah. No, I can't play that game. I've never voted in a federal election. I'm almost 50 years old, and I never will. And then Celeste says maybe he should start with the slackers, the arsehearts, and the people behind Oxycontin and all the drugs and all these other companies, and these people and that people. It's never going to happen because the system isn't designed to punish the actual shot callers. The system is designed to punish the competition. And so, yeah, when I say I think he's a light side Luciferian, I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. And remember, the Luciferians think they're the good guys. But again, it's divide and conquer. It's problem, reaction, solution. And I just don't like this whole defending these politicians. It's like, And I've lost almost 10 followers since I posted this stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? I don't know. And then I also saw this. Will this be the excuse NATO uses to start World War III? Is Putin part of the King of the North prophecy? I mean, I think they're all in on it. I don't believe a single high-level politician. But this whole thing about passing a law to execute dealers or whatever, that's insane. Basically, like Bill Cooper warned about back in the day, you can walk in anybody's house, drop a couple ounces, drop a couple bricks, drop a couple thousand, arrest them and charge them with dealing. And before the trial even happens, you've sold all their stuff, destroyed their lives, and they might not even be guilty. So, yeah, whatever. Trump's running again in 2024, and it's like, oh, gee, this should be fun. Let's wait and see the clown show emerge. So, whatever. That's all I got to say about that. Shout out again to Basil and Gods. Peace out.